COVID has brought about incredible changes obviously for everybody, certainly for the medical field and certainly in medical education. The interview season is our favorite time of the year, and the reason I enjoy it so much is it's such a invigorating experience to sort of sit face to face and see just the quality of students that are going into neurology today, and to hear their passion and their journey to neurology and their future plans. And unfortunately, these one-on-one meetings have been scuttled because of COVID. And so our recruitment season will all be done virtually, but we thought that really our most important asset as a residency training program is our residents, and really trying to get the students to sort of get a flavor of the culture here.
A huge part of why the interview is so important is for you to get a sense of who we are. Child neurology isn't a terribly competitive field. Most folks who are interested in being child neurologists will become child neurologists. This process is really about you finding the right fit for yourself, not just us finding the right fit. And so it's that shared interaction that's so important, and we wanted to give you a window into what a day in the life is like for our residents.
We're making this video because we feel so fortunate about what we have here at Stanford and at Stanford Neurology, and our goal is to share the culture that we have in the neurology department here as best we can. And we're hoping that this video conveys at least some of that culture that we feel so excited about.
We want to make clear to residents why this is the best place, but I think this is a incredibly strong and positive and healthy child neurology program. I think what people need to know as they enter their journey here is that they're on a path not just for training, but a path toward career and independence.
What makes our neurology program unique? A number of things. One is we're very fortunate to be one of the only about 20% of large healthcare systems that are on a main campus. And for us, that main campus is Stanford University. So that's fantastic. It gives us all kinds of opportunities. Another area that helps us quite a bit is just that we're a very large volume program. We have over 140 faculty. We take care of over 60,000 patient visits per year. So it's one of the big programs in the country. Being surrounded by incredible research sophistication, whether it's Stanford or Silicon Valley, contributes quite a bit as well.
My career is very much shaped by the fact that we are part of a larger institution. So one of the roles that I have as Associate Dean for Diversity in Medical Education is to work with trainees at the School of Medicine, medical students, residents, and fellows in supporting their curriculum and educational needs. What I feel is very unique about Stanford is the fact that we are part of this larger campus-wide effort to move neurology forward.
I think every resident comes in with one field, whether it be research, medical education, quality improvement, or any sort of professional track that they really want to develop for themselves or find an interest that they didn't realize they had. Medical education was something I came in with, having an interest in, and I cannot even tell you how much that interest has both developed and been pushed forward by every faculty member I've worked with.
First and foremost, you definitely want a clinically strong program. You want to see a wide range of different neurologic diseases. But I do think that there are really unique opportunities that you may not get at a smaller hospital or at a hospital that only offers a clinical experience. I think having a very strong translational science component at the institution is really important. I think having strong basic scientists who are willing to also think outside of the box.
I think many of you will be coming into residency not knowing quite yet what you may want to do after residency. So I think being at a place that has representation in all the different subspecialties, I think it just gives you, first of all, exposure. And second, helps you figure out if one subspecialty feels closer to your heart, and then you can work more closely with one of the mentors you identify.
I think that I felt, and I'm sure a lot of my co-residents feel, like I was interviewing 3 different programs, and I was looking for pediatrics program and what that had to offer. From the adult neurology program, I think that is where you learn your neurology. And so I wanted a program that was very strong in teaching its residents neurology, localizations, imaging, stroke, neurocritical care. All of those things are really important. And parts of those definitely translate onto the peds side. And then, of course, child neurology was always going to be where my home would be. And so wanted to find a program that advocated for its residents and really gave us an opportunity to develop our voice and gave us an opportunity to exercise our voice.
I know that going through my pediatric years, I got a good breadth of pediatric training, but coming to adult neurology, I'm really getting a sense for how neurology presents with adults. It can be very different than pediatrics, and there definitely is a learning curve with treating adults since I haven't treated an adult in like 2 or 3 years beforehand. But I think getting through it, those first couple of weeks or months, everyone is very supportive. I think all of the adult neurology residents were there as support within my cohort, but also the attendings and the fellows all understand that I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn as much as I can during that year of adult neurology.
So when I was an intern at Valley, you don't take care of primary patients as a neurology resident there. So all the medicine teams take on the neurology patients as primaries, and then the neurology service acts as consultants. So already during my intern year, I felt pretty comfortable with different neurologic conditions like stroke and stuff like that, just because I had already managed the patients. It's very rewarding to work with the sort of underserved population in the area. It's one of the reasons I chose it as an intern year. I feel very, fulfilled at the end of the day. There are definitely two different hospitals, right? You have Stanford, which is a very large tertiary academic center, and then you have Valley, which still has the different consulting services. A lot of different fellows and stuff like from Stanford are there. There's not as many resources so readily at hand. So you find yourself really having to rely on your clinical decision making at Valley. One of the reasons I chose here is because you get experience taking care of multiple types of patients in different practice settings.
One of my interests is in neuromodulation. We're well supported academically here to pursue this interest, but we're also located in the heart of Silicon Valley here. And there is a thriving ecosystem of startup companies that are innovating in medical devices. So as a resident, I think one of the more unique advantages to being here is our program's relationship with these promising tech companies working together to really drive innovation.
One of the big reasons I came to Stanford was because they really understood what I was interested in. I was interested in doing leadership classes and leadership development for residents. I was interested in combining my joint MBA along with my MD, and Stanford really supported that mission. They actually gave me funding to run a pilot course for leadership last year between neurology residents and radiology residents. Another reason I came here really was undeniably, we are one of the best paid, if not the single highest paid neurology residencies in the entire country. If you look at our benefits, your spouse, your significant other can be covered with 100% $0 copay for health insurance. Same goes if you have a child. There's an amazing policy where you get $3,000 of moving stipend. Every year there's an educational bonus, and every month you get $600 for housing stipend. So undeniably, it is definitely the best, I think, paid residency, including all of the benefits altogether.
So at this point, whenever it's safe, I would start with aspirin.
What we look for in our new recruits are very just positive, high energy people with high EQ, interpersonal skills. There are plenty of smart people out there, but we love to recruit the really smart ones who have exceptional interpersonal skills, and that just makes everything else work better. We're also looking for the future leaders of the field. I think what our applicants tend to be looking in some ways is the intellectually rigorous and intense place without all the rigmarole of hierarchy. They want a friendly place as well with a supportive culture.
What I look for, I think, are some of the values that are in our program, and that's probably not a coincidence, but I think collegiality, a sense of belonging, a sense of family, a quest for learning, and then also knowing that on a day-to-day basis, people would be there for you. I think the first value is always a passion and enthusiasm for learning, advancing scholarship, advancing care. That's really important. But I think beyond that, I think what sets our residents apart is they're incredibly human. Honesty is really important, empathy is really important, and then positivity, really important. We expect them to be sort of natural leaders who can really assume a strong, independent role. That said, we're always there to back them up and spot them, but having that independent, determined, and positive streak, that's really important.
What we look for are leaders who are passionate about neurology, first and foremost. And what that passion might be can look very differently from one trainee to another.
We're looking for people that love the nervous system, that they think it's exciting, it keeps them up at night thinking about these problems. They're anxious to be part of a field where it's all about lifelong learning. You know, personally, when I'm on service, I'm learning something every day. I'm going home at night and I'm excited about something new that I haven't seen before. So we're looking for that passion and that excitement. And, you know, we're looking for people that are team players.
Today, then we might be able to send her home tomorrow.
What drew me most to Stanford, first of all, is the close-knit community between the children's hospital, the adult hospital, and the university at large. Amazing resources when it comes to research opportunities and so many amazing mentors that you can identify even early on in your residency.
I chose Stanford because of the people, in all honesty. I felt like residency applications and the interview process was all about finding your people and finding a residency that really fit. And when I came here and when I interviewed here, I felt like all parts of the residency fit with what I wanted. The peds part, the adult neuro part, and obviously the child neuro part as well.
My medical school did not have child neurology rotation, so I needed to go out and experience child neurology, and I was really lucky my 4th year of medical school to do an away rotation at Stanford. I remember after my first week, calling my parents and just being so in love with the institution and the program. And truly, I felt like even though I wasn't part of the institution, I was immediately integrated into the team. As I interviewed across the country, and you all will experience this too, child neurology programs are great. I think what set Stanford apart are the people. I felt like I was going to have a family, which was really important for me. And I was really excited about the integration between pediatrics, child neurology, and neurology. Everything that I had hoped for in a residency, I absolutely found at Stanford. And if you ask me, would I pick Stanford again? I would say 1,000 times. Absolutely, yes, I would pick it again.
The biggest thing that drew me to Stanford was actually the huge array of research opportunities at Stanford. My career goal is to be a physician scientist in the field of neuro-oncology. And Stanford has a really burgeoning neuro-oncology program, and with a number of world-renowned researchers in neuro-oncology. One of the big surprises for me was how much my clinical experiences in the Stanford Neurology program inspired my research, inspired new ideas, got me excited about research again. I've seen just a huge array of different patients with different manifestations of different diseases. I just couldn't be happier to be back in the lab, investigating some new questions, and I think the opportunity at Stanford was really unparalleled in that sense.
One of the things that I think is outstanding about the Stanford Neurology program is the opportunity to do clinical research. For those of us who are interested in the clinical side, there is boundless opportunities. I came with the intent of doing research in stroke, and as soon as I got here, I sought out opportunities, and there was tons of things to get started from right off the bat.
My career goal is to be a physician scientist. I love patients. I wish that we could answer all of our patients' questions. That's where my love of research and science comes in. They really go hand in hand. Patient interactions inspire questions that can then be explored in the lab. And then in the lab, by getting a deeper understanding of pathology, that can help guide treatment that then comes back to help our patients.
We see over 60,000 outpatients a year, so we're by far the busiest outpatient neurology center on the West Coast. We're sitting here at our brand new hospital, which is the largest hospital in the region. We really wanted to grow the program to give residents opportunities to take advantage of things happening here in neuroscience, things happening here in quality, patient safety, advocacy, education. About a third of our residency ends up being elective time, and it really allows the residents the opportunity to explore the things that are going to be really important for building their careers.
Often folks haven't really been exposed to very much when it comes to what different niches within academic medicine you can have. And so at Stanford we have all possibilities at our fingertips. It's critically important to us that we have an environment that supports our residents as they grow and pursue their own passions. So what I deem a success in terms of resident education is providing folks with the time and the resources to pursue what their passions are. We really want folks who are going to lead child neurology in the future, and in order to be a leader, you have to pursue your passion. You have to lead from your heart. We have residents who've certainly pursued very traditional avenues in terms of epilepsy, epilepsy fellowship, or stroke, etc. But we also have residents who have pursued roles in advocacy at the national level and the state level. We have residents who are interested in global health, as well as education and curricular development.
I think having so much elective time really lets you build the building blocks for your career that you want moving forward in fellowship. So I'm going into neuro-ophthalmology, a more niche-specific subspecialty, and I've had that elective time to do other things that I may not have otherwise done in residency, so I can learn some of the skills that I otherwise wouldn't develop as a neurologist or a neurology resident, but something I'll need to be a neuro-ophthalmologist later down the line. The fact that we have so many different subspecialties, you can really pick and choose the exact different variations of how you want to develop your residency.
I'm really looking forward to using the elective and free time I have to really delve into a lot of those subspecialties and learn as much as I can while I'm here. Right now I'm interviewing for an epilepsy fellowship for pediatric epilepsy. I've had a lot of different mentors here that have helped me make that decision, helped me decide where I would apply for fellowship, and help prepare me for this process.
I think one thing even when I was interviewing here was being made well aware of how much time I was going to have to pursue electives in a whole lot of the different subspecialty fields of neurology. I'm going to be fortunate enough to be doing a stroke fellowship, and one big thing that sold me on that was the stroke fellows and the faculty themselves and working with them, the impact they had on the patient population they were working with, and that transition between both the inpatient and outpatient clinic and the impact that could be made there as well.
Something that I particularly was looking for was diversity. I didn't want to go to a program where I was the only one of myself in terms of being a physician scientist and also being female and being an Indian American. So I wanted to go to a program that really acknowledged that diversity and really embraced it.
Our department has really committed to advancing diversity and inclusion, both within neurology and within medicine. And in fact, we have been highlighted as a national leader in this effort by our Academy of Neurology. And really that comes down to a few different prongs of what diversity and inclusion means. There is the curriculum, education, the career development, and then as well as the research, and academic pursuits. So we really have tried to create an infrastructure that would allow for the recruitment of diverse individuals to our training programs and to our faculty, but also support them in their passions pursuits, whether it is advocacy or health disparities and equity research within neurology as well.
One of the things that I'm also interested in is diversity and social determinants of health. And so being part of our lead program through child neurology was so amazing to learn about how to really tackle diversity and how to incorporate that into our program in terms of spreading awareness and inclusion and really a lot of education.
I always did some type of volunteer work with under-resourced or underserved communities, and that's something that I've tried to pull through medical school and into residency. I think one of the aspects of care that we do in transitioning patients to adult neurology, there definitely is an unmet need in a lot of different communities and a lot of different practice settings. So finding ways to improve our clinical practice is something I'm interested in.
I'm interested in advocacy, social justice, health equity work, and it's hard to find modeling for that in a niche field like child neurology. And I think that it really struck me when I did a sub-I here, as well as when I interviewed here, that people were going to bend over backwards and really go out of their way to make sure that if I had an idea, I would be able to carry it out. There's a really wide range of personalities and interests, but I think that everybody here is a team player, and that's what we value in each other too, is that we're all kinds of different people, but at the end of the day, we are on each other's side.
Because technically all the nutritionists is here.
I think the culture here is really one of our strengths. I mean, I also think that pediatrics and child neurology really attract very compassionate and warm people. I love my co-residents so much. There's a joke within the division that we all share a kidney.
This is one of my favorite things about Stanford. I think Stanford is a great place to be because not only do we work hard, we see a lot of neurology and a lot of patients, but I think my class has a lot of fun together. We get to go outside and do a lot of things in the area, hiking, going into the city, and I just really enjoy the time that I spend with my co-residents.
Whenever we see each other, we always give each other a big hug. We do more air hugs now, or like elbows with COVID, but I think my time here would be very different if I didn't have the co-residents I have now.
It's very much a family environment. I have felt like I have grown up in this environment with some incredible colleagues who I either trained with or have been trained by and have continued to feel incredibly supported.
I think it's really, we have a culture of looking out for one another. So when prospective residents ask me what am I looking for in a resident, it's really someone who cares about the other members of their team. And that team can include their patients and their patients' families, but also the other residents in their program. And there's not been a single life event that our residents have missed because we're here for one another. That's what is the foundation for the culture we have, and those are the kind of people that we're looking for.
I think the thing I've appreciated by far the most being here is how wonderfully open and engaged every person in the department is. Whether it's on the inpatient side or in an outpatient clinic, everyone legitimately wants us to be here. They appreciate our contributions, and they put in the work to make sure that we are always gaining something of value educationally, professionally, or personally from them.
The people are phenomenal. You will create this amazing community, not only with your co-residents, with your co-peds neurology residents, but also with your pediatric residents and the adult neurology residents. They truly become your brothers, your sisters, your support system. Beyond that, the faculty is outstanding. They are going to become your mentors, your sponsors, your friends if you're just having a bad day. Sometimes maybe a parent if you don't have family here. Whatever you need, the faculty from start to finish, they want to make you into the best possible physician that you can be, and they will support you in whatever types of things that you're interested in to achieve that goal.
Great mentorship, that's a make or break on that. I think all of us at various parts of our career can look back and see what a difference having the mentors makes. And it was very important to me at each level of my career. I'm still looking for mentors. It's so important. We all are. The president of our university, I'm sure, has mentors. Our dean has mentors. We all do, right?
I see mentors in a few ways. One, obviously, a mentor will be an advocate for you throughout your residency, but then after residency, when you go on to your fellowship and search for an attending position, a mentor will always stay there with you And so I feel like mentors are really helpful in helping you figure out what's best for you. I see them also as kind of life coaches and life mentors who can chat with you even about things that are not necessarily career related, but are very important to your life.
When I look back at my own career, the mentors are the people that have really helped me be where I am today. Having a strong mentor so that you then develop your own style and your own independence, that's what it's there. The mentor is kind of like, I think of the mentor as kind of like the spotter in gymnastics. They're mostly neutral, but they're there to really helps you hit a 10.
Coming here, what I have found that I didn't even think I could ask for was mentors to talk to that are always open for any resident. You know, there is no, you have one mentor. Any attending or faculty member here is more than willing to talk to residents both personally and professionally. If there was one thing I would have told myself interviewing right now, you're gonna be happy here. You're gonna be surrounded by people that really like what they do and really wanna see you succeed. And they're gonna spend time that you didn't think they would spend to try to help you reach that goal. You're going to find yourself pushed in ways that you didn't think you'd be pushed. You're gonna find yourself developing in ways that you didn't think you'd develop. You're gonna find yourself mature both professionally and personally and develop relationships that you probably didn't think you'd ever have. And I would 1000% come here again, and I'm so happy that I'm here.
For year after year, anyone who's interviewed here has heard this corny analogy to me that it's like a moving sidewalk in an airport. I always want people who are here, whether they're here 5 years, 7 years, 10 or 15 years, that when they get off that moving sidewalk, they feel really grateful for the experience that they had. And when they look back, they say, I'm here today because of Stanford. And that's really something that I think people need to hear as they start their journey.
What I hope people take away from watching this video is just a flavor of how much we care. The best part of my job as a department chair is working with our residents, and nothing gives me a greater thrill in my career than helping our residents be successful at these steps. And I hope that in making this video, we've been able to communicate how much we enjoy doing that.
First and foremost, this is a clinically intensive residency program. Our residents work incredibly hard. We all consider the educational endeavor as really our highest calling, but for every single faculty member, it's really training the next generation that's kind of the highest calling, and we think is the most important thing. My very favorite night of the year is graduation. I look at the group and I reflect back on where they came from and what an incredible journey and developmental process it's been over just 3 short years. And I look up at them and I can't, all of them I would, want them to take care of my family. And it's just incredible the sort of this magical transformation that occurs. So I think the residents leave here incredibly clinically prepared, but also prepared, to be academic leaders in neurology anywhere in the country.
I hope you walk away from seeing this video and get a sense of who we really are and what we value. In a way, trying to give you a window into who we are here.